Hey guys. Alright, so the next project I'd like to do for the G0602, after working with the quick change tool post, I decided that this handle's got to go. It doesn't feel good, it's got sharp edges, and it's plastic. So I thought, what better project to have for one of your first turnings on the G0602 CNC, but a nice knob for my quick change tool post. So let's go to Fusion 360 and draw this up. Hey guys, well here we are in Fusion 360, and so I thought I would just kind of go over some of the features that it has. Let's just do the drawing for the quick change tool post knob. There are several ways that you can draw this out. You can use a sketch to create a circle like so. We want to use this plane here because this is my Z, the blue line, and this red line is my X. Right here, the spindle and the chuck, and over here would be the tailstock. So you start here and you can just click in the center, and we want to make our stock is 1.5 inches. So you type in 1.5, hit enter. It locks it in. Click the mouse and you're done. So we have our sketch of our circle. That's one way to do it. And then we can go to modify and we can pull this out 1.5 inches. Hit enter, and now we have our cylinder. Pretty straightforward. That's one way to do it. Or do this. Go back to the beginning. Another way is to go to create cylinder. Again, the blue line is our Z, and this plane right here being the spindle. Want to click on that. Type in 1.5 inches. Hit enter. Click the mouse. And then up here in this dialog box, I want to type in for the height 1.5. Hit enter, and I have a cylinder. I apologize for my display. For some reason my graphics card in this computer seems to have issues with 360, and it's very, very difficult to see. I can click on it and it turns it blue right here, but anytime I do anything, it changes it. So now one thing I want to point out is this little rotational cube up here. This thing is awesome. I'm used to using SketchUp, and this is a lot easier to manipulate your model and see where you're at. You can grab the center here and move it. You can just click on the center and it will give you the back of the model. You have these corners you can grab and rotate, and you have this home button which gives you an isometric view. Very, very cool feature, and it's very easy to see what you're doing. So this is the spindle side right here, which would be the back. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, so next we want to put our hole for our shaft to go into. So you go up to create hole, click on this point right there in the center. And we want it to be 0.875 deep. And we want it to be 0.3425 in diameter. And so we have a hole. Let me rotate it around so you can see the hole going through there. Next we want to create some thread. So you click on thread. And we want to put it right here on this face. We want to use metric M profile thread. It automatically puts in a diameter based upon the diameter that your hole is. We want M10 by 1.5. Right hand threads. Click OK, and you can see we have our threads. The next we want to go to the front here, and we want to go to modify, draft. We want to select this plane and this face. And you can see it gives you a little thing here where you can move a knob to adjust. Let's go to 20. Let's see what 20 looks like. 20. Okay, it might be a little too much. Let's go 15. You can move your manipulator, or you can just type it in. 15, negative 15 degrees. Okay. Select OK, and we have our taper. And then you want to go to modify, fillet, and we'll select this edge here to fillet. And we want to go a ½ inch, so we can move our arrow down 0.5 like so. Click OK. Now we have it knobbed, and we want to do a little on the front edge as well. So you can go back up to modify and select it, or you can just right click and it says repeat fillet. It gives you the last thing you did. You can repeat it on this angle edge right here, and let's just do say 0.10 thousandths here, and there is a knob. Pretty straightforward and simple. Here's our chuck here, and this will be our knob. That's pretty much it. Now if you want to measure and see what the overall diameter is going to be, you can go to inspect, measure, and we can click on this right here, and it gives us, well, it's giving us the area. We don't really have a line here. Let's click here, here. Let's see if it gives us the diameter. Okay, 1.163 right here. So it's a little bit bigger here, maybe 1.25 inches. That's good. So now we just need to do the cam process. One thing I wanted to point out is down here it gives you this timeline, which is really cool because you can take this and move it all the way to the beginning. You have nothing, and you can see what you drew, how you did it, and if there's any problems you can kind of see maybe what happened. So we put our hole in there, then we threaded it and put our taper on there, rounded off the back, and then rounded off the front end. Pretty neat. Alright, so to do our cam processes, you go to Model, Cam, Turning. We can face the part if we need to. And then let's do 4 inches a minute. We're going to be using flood. Let's select our tool. Just our standard, this is my standard master tool here for facing. Click OK. And we'll leave all the other stuff. We want it to go, not to go home, so we can click that. Or you can tell it to go home at the beginning. And we don't want to do multiple passes on the facing operation, so we'll click OK. So you can see it generates the cam operation here. And pretty straightforward. We can go up to Simulate and play. Let's click on stock so you can see the stock. We can play, and then you can see it does our facing operation. In setup here, we need to edit our stock if we need to. It's already puts in default by the choice of the model, so that looks pretty good. Our next operation is turning. Let's do turning profile. This profile is left to right or down the Z-axis. Select our tool. Because this has the radius at the front and the back, let's select our number 2. And you can see the clearance here. And then we want to finish pass and roughing step down. Let's try 0.01 and 0.01 for our step over for our finishing pass. We'll leave those empty. Maybe for the finishing pass we should change it to 0.005. Okay. Alright, click OK. It does its calculations. You can see the tool pass here. We can go to Simulate, and it's taking really light passes. The visual aspect of Fusion 360 is really cool. Okay, so if you want to make any changes, you can go back and make whatever changes you want. Just right click on it, edit, and then go through. Let's change roughing here. Let's change it to 0.02 thousandths. And post-processing. Now 360 doesn't have a post-processor for Mach 3, so they suggest that you use this generic FANUC post-processor. Let's see, you can go to turning here, and then it only gives you the turning profiles. See the choices, there are only 4, but click this generic FANUC turning, and that seems to be working okay. And then we'll click post, and we'll name it quick change tool post now. Click Save. And it takes a few minutes for it to process. But it gives you two sheets. It gives you a data sheet and it gives you the actual code. The setup sheet here, it gives you all the information about the process that was posted. Here's the G code posted. This one looks like it's 328 lines. And that was just this one operation. I didn't post the complete code. It was just the profile that we did that was posted. If you want to post the whole process, then you have to click on Setup and post from there, and it'll get every operation below there and include it in the G code. The tool change is a little different here than I'm used to. It's a T0202 tool number and then the tool number offset, so that's a little different. But to get the whole process, you see, you can just click on Setup. So that wraps up the drawing. Let's go out and get this thing turned. I think it turned out pretty good. Let's see how it turns out on the G0602. Okay, so this is the stock I'm going to use for the quick change tool post knob, and I just turned these out of some 1.5 inch aluminum bar. I cleaned up the faces a little bit. I didn't clean it up all the way because most of that's going to get turned off. I just cleaned it up a little, and then I center drilled it, bored it, and tapped it. This is M10 by 1.5. All I did was I just took a bolt and turned down the head, and I'm going to use it as my shaft. That way everything will be symmetrical off of the thread. I made two because, hey, you never know. First time with the CNC lathe, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so let's get this chucked up. Let's get it turned. Taking very light passes because I'm not real sure. Feed rate is 15 inches per minute, and I believe this is 0.005 depth of cut. Chip breaker, I can tell you that.
It's not as smooth as I thought it would be, but it's definitely in the shape that I want. But I can feel ridges, and I'm sure it's this tool. This may be not the best tool for this particular job. I'm going to have to do some work with that. One thing I did notice is just when you thought you got all the leaks, nope. This all looks good here, but I don't have any wetness anywhere in here. So I think these plates are all holding. I think my little milk jug trick is working, but I noticed that I was running this code, the floor is all wet. So I've got to clean that up. And I believe we have water here. Now how we get coolant from there to here, I'm not real sure, but I think it's somehow running down this rail, because it's all dripping down right here. So I'm gonna have to do some investigation and see if I can figure that out. But yeah, I've got to work on this a little bit and see what the deal is with this tool. I don't know if I have my feed. Maybe my feed is too much. So I'm going to slow down the feed and try it again and see what we got. I don't really mind it not being too smooth, but I'm going to try to get it all smoothed off real nice. Not too bad for the first cut. More importantly though, I need to try to figure out the leak situation. Can't have half your coolant going on the floor. So anyways, yeah, I think it's I'm not real sure how it's getting over here. It might be running down the bed. I see here. Okay, it's running down the bed. So I need to put something to keep it from running down the bed. Okay, that makes sense. I can fix that. Alright, I'll shoot a video and show you what I come up with for the fix for that. G0602, first turn with Fusion 360. Not perfect, but not bad. I'm gonna try maybe a different tool. I definitely need a chip breaker for this. When you're turning this aluminum, you get these long strands. So alright, stay tuned for the next video. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, thumbs up if you like the video, and most importantly, be safe.